There's a painkiller in your bathroom cabinet right now that can take the edge off a broken heart, not calm you down, not help you sleep, dull the heartbreak, the same way it dulls a headache. And the only reason that works is deeply unsettling. Your brain cannot actually tell the difference between a broken bone and a broken heart. It runs them through the same wiring. So the ache you feel when someone leaves isn't a metaphor. It's an injury. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly what's being damaged and why you were built to hurt this way. Think about the last time you were truly rejected, not annoyed, rejected. The text that never came, the relationship that ended before you were ready, the group that quietly closed up and left you on the outside. Now notice where you felt it, not in your thoughts, in your chest, that tightness behind the breastbone, the hollow drop in your stomach. For some people, a real ache, like a fist slowly closing. We talk about heartbreak like it's poetry, a figure of speech, something soft we're supposed to get over. It isn't soft, and it isn't a metaphor. Over the last 20 years, neuroscientists have slid heartbroken people into brain scanners and watched what actually happens. And what they found erases the line between emotional pain and physical pain. Because there is no line. That wall we all assume exists between hurt feelings and a hurt body. Your brain never built it. There's a reason for that. A strange ancient reason that reaches back hundreds of thousands of years to a time when being left by your people wasn't sad. It was fatal. We'll get to why your ancestors made heartbreak feel like dying. We'll get to that painkiller, and we'll get to the part almost nobody knows, that in rare cases, a broken heart stops being a feeling and becomes a medical emergency. But it starts with a stupid little ball game. In 2003, a researcher named Naomi Eisenberger ran an experiment that sounds far too simple to matter. She put people inside an fMRI scanner, a machine that watches the brain light up in real time, and had them play a video game. The game was just 3 cartoon players tossing a ball around. You're one of them. The other 2, you're told, are real people in other rooms. At first, everyone plays nicely. The ball comes to you, you throw it back. Then, partway through, the other 2 just stop. They throw it only to each other. They leave you out, no insults, no drama, a children's ball game on a screen with strangers you'll never meet. It shouldn't sting. It stings anyway. Here's what mattered. While these people sat there feeling that small, petty stab of being left out, Eisenberger was watching their brains, and one region lit up hard, the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. Remember that name. It's going to come back. That region has a day job. It's part of the brain's alarm system for physical pain. It's the part that registers how much a burn or a broken bone actually bothers you, the raw unpleasantness of being hurt. And it was firing, over a cartoon ball. 13 people, and the more excluded they felt, the harder that pain region worked. In plain terms, your brain handles a social snub using the exact hardware it uses for a physical wound. Now, a skeptic could push back. Maybe the brain's just being dramatic, borrowing the pain region to express a feeling. Fair. So, researchers ran it in reverse, and that's where this gets very hard to argue with. Think it through. If rejection really runs on the physical pain system, then a physical painkiller should dull it. That's a strange prediction. It's also testable. So in 2010, a team led by DeWall tried it. They took healthy people and every day for 3 weeks gave half of them a common over-the-counter painkiller. Acetaminophen, paracetamol. The same thing you take for a headache. The other half got a placebo. Every night, everyone rated how much social pain they'd felt that day. The little rejections, the hurt feelings, the placebo group didn't budge. The group on the painkiller watched their hurt feelings slowly, measurably drop. A headache pill was quietly turning down heartbreak. Then, they put people in the scanner, gave them the same drug, and ran the ballgame again. The painkiller group's brains showed less activity in that pain region. The dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the one I told you to remember, sit with that. We can blunt the pain of rejection with the same pills sitting by the bathroom sink. Not because they stop you caring, because to your nervous system, there is something physically there to numb. And in 2011, it got more literal still. A researcher named Kross found 40 people who'd just been through an unwanted breakup. The kind you don't choose. He showed each of them a photo of the ex who left and asked them to really sit in that moment of being rejected. This time, the brain didn't just trip the alarm. It lit up the regions that handle raw physical sensation, the parts that register a burn on your skin. Somewhere below thought, the body was reading the breakup as damage to the body itself, which leaves the question we've been circling from the start. Why would evolution ever build a creature that feels rejection as a physical injury? What good could that possibly do? The answer is the reason you're alive to ask it. For almost all of human history, you could not survive alone. Take away the supermarkets and the locked doors and the phone in your pocket, and a single human on the ancient grassland is one of the most pathetically vulnerable animals alive. No claws, no fangs, not fast, not strong. Our whole survival strategy was each other. The group hunted for you, watched for predators while you slept, fed you when you were sick, kept your children alive. So belonging wasn't a nicety, it was life support. And being cast out, exiled, abandoned, left behind, wasn't lonely. It was a death sentence. Alone in the dark, you were a meal waiting to happen. Now think about evolution's problem. It had to make absolutely certain you'd never drift away from your people, that you'd claw and panic to stay connected. It needed an alarm so violent you could not ignore it. And it already had the perfect alarm sitting right there, the pain system, the one thing every animal is wired to avoid, the system that already screams, fix this, now the instant your body is in danger. So, evolution did something brilliant and a little cruel. It wired social loss straight into the physical pain alarm. It made losing your people feel like losing a piece of your own body, because for hundreds of thousands of years it basically was lose your people, lose your life. So that ache in your chest is not a flaw. It's a survival system doing the exact job it was designed for. It just hasn't been told the danger is past. It's running 300,000 years out of date. But here's the unsettling thing about an alarm that powerful. Sometimes it doesn't just warn you. Sometimes it does real damage. Doctors have a name for it. Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. Most people know it as broken heart syndrome. Here's how it goes. Someone takes a sudden, severe emotional blow. Very often the death of a spouse. Sometimes a brutal breakup. And within hours they're in an emergency room with crushing chest pain, fighting to breathe. It looks exactly like a heart attack. The readouts say heart attack. But when doctors go looking at the arteries, they're clear. Nothing is blocked. What's happened is that a flood of stress hormones has physically stunned the heart. One part of it balloons out of shape and stops pumping properly. The grief didn't feel like a blow to the heart, it was one. People have died from this. The metaphor turned out to be a diagnosis. And even when heartbreak doesn't land you in a hospital, watch how it behaves. The compulsive checking of their phone, the physical craving to see them, hear them, just one more time. The way the world goes gray and food loses its taste. That isn't only sadness. That exact pattern has a name in a completely different context. It's withdrawal. Losing someone you're attached to runs partly on the same brain chemistry as coming off a drug, the same craving, the same physical sickness when the source is suddenly gone. So when a breakup feels like detox, you're not being dramatic. In your brain, chemically, that's close to what it is. So, where does that leave you the next time it happens? Because it will happen again. To all of us, here's the reframe I want to leave you with. The pain of being rejected, abandoned, left behind. That pain is not weakness. It isn't you being too sensitive or too much or broken in a way other people aren't. It's the oldest, deepest part of your brain doing precisely what kept your ancestors alive for 1,000 generations. It hurts that much because once it had to. And your capacity to be destroyed by losing someone is the same capacity that lets you love them at all. They aren't two systems. They're one. You can't keep one and switch off the other. A person who couldn't be shattered by loss was never really attached in the first place. If this reframes something for you, subscribe. This whole channel is about the ancient machinery still quietly running underneath modern life. And the next time your chest aches over someone who's gone, remember what it actually is. It's not your heart breaking, it's your heart working exactly as designed for a world that no longer exists, over a person it was certain you could not survive without.